Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack complex ideas, pull out the key insights from, well, often a stack of sources, and give you that shortcut to being really well informed.
Yeah, getting you up to speed quickly.
Exactly. And today, we're diving into something huge, artificial intelligence. I mean, it's not just shaping our world anymore. It feels like it's becoming this global infrastructure.
It really is. It's weaving its way into, healthcare, education, how whole industries run. It's everywhere.
And this is the crucial part. There's a challenge sort of lurking under the surface, isn't there?
There is a really fundamental one. These powerful AI systems we have now, they're often built around quite narrow technical goals, metrics.
Right.
And those metrics, they just don't capture the sheer complexity, the diversity, the ambiguity, basically the richness of actual human experience. They're missing something vital.
Okay, that's a really important point to start with. So for this deep dive, our main source is a fascinating white paper called Doing AI Differently, Rethinking the Foundations of AI via the Humanities.
A pretty bold title.
It is. And our mission here, for you listening, is to help you understand this, well, pretty revolutionary idea they're proposing. It's about putting something called interpretive depth right at the core of how we build AI.
We'll unpack what that means exactly.
Yeah, and you'll see why things like the humanities, the arts, qualitative social sciences, why they're not just some nice ethical add-on. The paper argues they're actually essential to AI's fundamental design.
It's not just about making AI, nicer or more ethical on the surface.
It's about unlocking completely new possibilities for what AI can do.
Okay, so where do we start? Let's get into the urgent why. Why now? Why is this shift so critical at this moment?
Good question. The paper argues AI is at a critical juncture. That's the term they use.
Okay.
And the core idea, the foundational gap they identify is this. AI systems are increasingly churning out cultural stuff, language, images, stories.
Yeah, all that generative AI content we see.
Exactly. But they lack the internal frameworks to actually interpret that content.
Right.
It's like they can speak, but they don't understand the meaning or the context.
Right. And that's where the usual ways of measuring AI performance, the traditional benchmarks, they start to break down, don't they?
Completely.
Huh?
Because AI is moving into these messy human domains where there isn't one simple ground truth. There's no single right answer.
We're talking about areas needing context, judgment, interpretation, things that are hard to pin down with a simple metric.
It makes you think about the early days of social media, right?
Oh, definitely. The paper draws that parallel quite strongly. Remember how those platforms launched with, well, very basic engagement metrics and hardly any thought about context?
And we saw the results of unanticipated societal harms, as the paper puts it mildly.
Yeah, and the warning here is that AI is stepping into even more sensitive areas. We absolutely cannot afford to make that same mistake again. The stakes are just so much higher.
But it's not all doom and gloom. They frame this challenge as a massive opportunity.
Right, if we can successfully integrate these interpretive capabilities.
Then we could see major breakthroughs in AI tackling really complex, real-world problems. The goal, as they put it, is to amplify rather than erode human potential.
And the timing is crucial because the design choices we make now are going to set the direction for AI for years, maybe decades.
Okay, so the paper digs into 3 specific challenges AI is facing right now that really underline this urgency. What's the first one?
The first is what they call the qualitative turn. AI isn't just about, predicting numbers or optimizing logistics anymore.
Like the older AI applications.
Exactly. Modern AI, particularly these large language models, LLMs, they've taken this massive shift. Their inputs, their outputs, they're soaked in human culture and social context.
That's a really interesting way to put it. So it's like modern AI is essentially a bottom-up model of human culture, learning from all that data.
Precisely. It learns patterns from vast amounts of text and images. And its outputs, whether it's generated text or picture, are almost like cultural documents themselves.
Like artifacts that humanists would study.
Exactly. And the implication there is huge. It means we need the tools and methods from the humanities' interpretive methodologies to actually understand what these AI outputs mean and how they function out there in the real world in different cultures.
There's a great quote in there from Hoyt Long at the University of Chicago. He says something like, "It feels like we are at a threshold moment where if these reduced notions of intelligence are allowed to stand in for human intelligence itself, then more complex ideas will fade into the background."
It's a powerful warning. We risk flattening our own understanding of intelligence if we just accept the AI version as the benchmark.
Okay, so that's the qualitative turn. What's the second big challenge?
The second is the homogenization problem. This is about the technology itself. There's this, frankly, striking concentration of AI development around just a handful of architectures.
Mostly deep neural networks, right?
Almost entirely. And this convergence, this lack of diversity in the underlying tech, is leading to a couple of problems. One is stagnating performance on some harder tasks, and the other is this narrowed conception of intelligence we just talked about. AI gets good at easily measured things, but struggles with complexity.
And that's not just a technical problem, is it? It has real social consequences.
Absolutely. This homogeneity can inadvertently entrench social inequalities if the models have biases or limitations, and those same models are used everywhere.
You get a systemic amplification of those problems. It scales up the flaws.
Exactly. But again, there's an opportunity here. The paper argues that humanities perspectives, things like feminist theory, ecological thinking, indigenous knowledge, disability studies, post-colonial thought, they can inform not just how we understand AI,
But how we actually build it, how it's designed, developed, evaluated.
right, it could lead to entirely new design paradigms that challenge the assumptions baked into current AI.
Okay, fascinating. And the third challenge?
The third one is maybe the most profound, the transformation of human cognition. The point here is that AI isn't just another tool, like a hammer.
Or even a complex tool like a spreadsheet.
Right. It's becoming a partner in how we think, how we process information, make decisions, even how we understand ourselves. It's creating this human-AI hybridity.
Wow. But isn't most AI development still focused on, like, being a better assistant?
That's exactly the point. A lot of it is stuck in the assistant paradigm, focused on making AI fluent, efficient, good at specific tasks.
Making it sound human, basically.
Yeah, or just getting the job done quickly. But this paper argues we need to move way beyond that, towards more complex forms of human-AI collaboration and coevolution.
And that's where humanists come in again.
Yes, because they are uniquely skilled at analyzing cultural context, nuance, constraint, understanding these emerging hybrid cognitive capacities when people and AI systems work together.
Including these broader, like, ecological and more than human perspectives. Thinking about AI not just as a machine, but as part of a bigger web.
Exactly. How does AI fit into these complex systems of connection? Okay, now, there's a really crucial distinction the paper makes, and it's easy to mix these terms up.
Okay, let's clarify.
They differentiate between interpretive AI, which is the main focus here, and interpretable AI.
Right, interpretable AI is more familiar, maybe. It's about making the AI's decision-making process transparent.
Exactly. It's the technical side opening the black box so you can see how an AI reached a conclusion mechanism.
So what's interpretive AI then?
Interpretive AI is about designing systems to engage with meaning, context, implication. It's about how these technologies interact with human experience, how they shape culture and are shaped by it. It's about the meaning side of things.
Okay, so interpretable AI is the how. Interpretive AI is more the what does it mean and so what?
That's a good way to put it, and
Yeah.
both are absolutely crucial, the paper stresses. They're different, but complementary. You need both.
And it's really important to stress this isn't about pitting, tech fields against the humanities.
Not at all. The whole vision is about co-creation, genuine integration of different kinds of expertise.
Andrew Prahl from Nanyang Technological University in Singapore puts it nicely. He says these problems, the ambiguities, the contexts, they are not dead ends, but can be doorways to deeper understanding and ultimately more nuanced AI systems.
That better capture the complexity of our world. Yeah, it's about using that friction between disciplines productively to build something better.
Okay, so we've laid out the problems, the urgency. Now the big question, what does doing AI differently actually look like? What are these core innovations?
Right, so at its heart, interpretive AI means systems that are specifically designed to engage with ambiguity, context, and plurality as core capabilities, not as afterthoughts, but as fundamental features.
And the paper outlines 3 core areas of innovation to get there. What's the first?
The first is developing interpretive technologies. These are AI systems designed not just to spit out one single answer.
The way many current systems do.
Exactly. But instead to represent multiple valid perspectives rather than producing monolithic outputs. Think about training LLMs to genuinely understand and articulate different viewpoints, or building systems that incorporate contextual information much more deeply.
Or even using creative methods like art or speculative design as part of the AI development process.
Precisely. The goals are ambitious. New training strategies, completely new ways to evaluate AI based on interpretive depth and nuance, not just accuracy, exploring output formats that actually show ambiguity instead of hiding it.
So the results could be really different. New algorithms, new ways to measure success, different user interfaces.
Bespoke datasets, prototype systems that work fundamentally differently. Martin Zeilinger talks about how fields like rhetoric could help us rethink AI development entirely, moving beyond just persuasion towards richer understanding.
Okay, that's interpretive technologies. What's the second innovation?
The second is alternative architectures for AI. This tackles that homogenization problem head-on. It's about actively expanding the AI design space beyond the current dominant models.
So moving beyond just tweaking neural networks.
Way beyond, identifying dimensions of intelligence or cognition that are currently neglected, developing evaluation methods that reward systems for challenging assumptions, not just fitting patterns, exploring different ways for AI to learn beyond just minimizing errors on a data set.
And how do the humanities fit into designing architectures?
By providing insights into things current AI struggles with.
Yeah.
Embodied cognition, associative thinking, metaphorical reasoning, aesthetic discernment. These are areas where humanistic and artistic knowledge is deep. The idea is to create genuinely collaborative frameworks where technical and humanistic insights shape the core design.
It reminds me of that line from the poem Roger F. Molina created using an AI trained on Fred Turner's work.
Ah, yes, Fred the Heretic.
Art no longer fends from math, or math from mushroom spores. We stopped pruning the tree of knowledge. It bloomed like a weed.
I love that. It perfectly captures that idea of cross-pollination, letting different ways of knowing enrich each other to create something new and maybe a bit wild.
Okay, and the third core innovation.
Human AI ensembles. This is about building socio-technical systems, systems involving both people and tech that use a wider range of interactions. The goal is to enhance, rather than replace, human capabilities and ingenuity.
So moving past AI as just a replacement or a simple assistant.
Exactly. Exploring these more complex networks and arrangements where humans and AI work together in intricate ways that truly amplify what people can do.
What are the specific goals there?
Things like mapping out different ways humans and AI can interact, understanding how information changes as it flows between them, developing frameworks that ensure meaningful human agency, keeping humans in the loop and in control in meaningful ways.
And looking at the social and cultural side of these partnerships.
Absolutely. Plus, creating ethical design principles to guide how we build these ensembles. The outcomes could be new models for collaboration, real insights into how these complex systems work, design principles focused on human flourishing, not just efficiency.
It connects to that quote from Dalaki Livingston. For the community means it needs to be made with the community.
Precisely. Co-creation, bottom-up design.
These sound like powerful ideas. How might they play out in the real world? The paper mentions some specific societal challenges.
Yes, it does. Take sustainability, for instance. A huge, complex challenge.
Definitely.
Interpretive AI could help us navigate the incredibly complex social, cultural, and political realities involved in decarbonization. It's not just a technical problem.
So like taking global climate models but contextualizing them with deep local knowledge, or helping mediate between polarized viewpoints.
Exactly. The paper gives examples like heat-resilient urban planning that doesn't just look at temperature data, but integrates community values, local history, maybe even traditional ecological knowledge.
Making solutions that actually work for people on the ground.
Right. Or energy system resilience that combines technical needs with social factors and community priorities. And this also feeds into that crucial distinction between AI for sustainability and sustainable AI.
Meaning we need AI to help solve climate problems, but we also need to address AI's own environmental footprint.
Yes. We hear about the huge energy demands of data centers, like potentially 20% of Ireland's energy. Interpretive AI could help us rethink the whole paradigm, aiming for AI systems that are both effective and fundamentally more sustainable in their own right.
Okay, what about healthcare? That's another area crying out for innovation.
A major one. Interpretive AI could help tackle issues like physician burnout and rising costs by essentially preserving the narrative complexity of patient experiences.
Instead of reducing everything to checkboxes and codes.
Exactly. Imagine AI-powered ambient listening systems in clinics, but designed so patients can actually participate in shaping their own medical records, or personalized health LLMs trained on truly diverse data that reflects different populations and experiences.
And integrating the medical side with, say, social determinants of health? The non-medical factors?
Precisely. The goal is Better diagnosis, yes, but also more trust, better patient-doctor relationships, and ultimately better care outcomes that consider the whole person.
And the third example area was engineering design.
Right. Helping designers use AI not just to automate tasks, but to enhance their own human expertise, creativity, and contextual judgment.
So, using AI for design exploration, but making sure complex values like sustainability or accessibility are baked in from the start.
Yes, or using AI to analyze how products are actually used in the wild, looking for latent needs or unanticipated user behaviors that simple quantitative data might miss.
Finding out what people really need or how they really use something.
Exactly, and enabling much richer, context-aware evaluation of designs, accounting for ambiguity and risk in ways current tools often can't.
Okay, so we've covered the why, the urgency, and the what, these core innovations.
Yeah.
This all sounds incredibly ambitious. How do they propose actually making it happen? This isn't just a thought experiment, right?
No, absolutely not. The paper is very clear that this requires real structural and institutional change. It's not just about individual researchers doing things differently.
And the way the paper itself was created hints at that, doesn't it?
It does. They used a design-led methodology involving something called open prototyping. And crucially, it had this distributed authorship model. Over 150 researchers from across 6 continents were involved.
Wow. So it wasn't just a few people writing a report, it was a community effort.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Building a shared understanding and a collective vision right from the start.
And to guide the actual implementation, they propose 5 strategic work streams, kind of a roadmap.
Yeah, an integrated framework. Workstream 1 is about building the foundations of interpretive AI, things like new evaluation methods, new ways to represent context.
Okay.
Workstream 2 aims to expand AI design pathways, supporting new kinds of interdisciplinary labs to explore alternative system designs. Workstream 3 focuses on enabling human AI ensemble systems, pushing research on truly collaborative AI that boosts human agency.
Makes sense. What about 4 and 5?
Workstream 4 is crucial, building talent, capacity, and cross-sector pathways, developing people, creating ways for researchers from different fields and from academia and industry to actually work together.
Training the next generation, basically.
And facilitating exchange. And finally, Workstream 5 is about establishing global knowledge infrastructure, creating open platforms for sharing knowledge, tools, and training materials worldwide, making this accessible.
So how do they envision these work streams operating in practice? What are the mechanisms?
They suggest several practical things: field building scaffolds, structures designed to support long-term collaboration, cross-sector exchange programs, think sabbaticals, joint appointments between universities and industry or arts organizations.
Getting people out of their silos.
Exactly. And fostering boundary-spanning roles, people specifically trained and supported to bridge different disciplines and sectors, translators, connectors.
That sounds vital.
And also creating diverse participation pathways, things like fellowships, residencies, even microgrants to bring in a wider range of voices, especially early career researchers or people with unconventional backgrounds.
Making sure it's not just the usual suspects.
Right. And underpinning all this is the need for policy and funding alignment, changing how research is funded and evaluated to genuinely support and reward this kind of interdisciplinary interpretive work.
Of course, a vision this big, it's going to face hurdles. The paper acknowledges the barriers and risks. Right?
Oh, definitely. It's realistic about the challenges. There's the serious issue of humanities capacity erosion, declining funding and institutional support for the very disciplines needed for this vision,
A major problem.
and just the practical difficulty of cross-disciplinary communication, different jargon, different methods, different reward structures in academia. It's hard to get people talking effectively.
Then there's industry pressure.
Right. Industry integration. The commercial drive for rapid development and deployment can often clash with the slower, more nuanced research needed for interpretive AI.
And just the sheer technical difficulty.
Yeah.
Is it even feasible to build AI this way?
That's another acknowledged risk, the technical feasibility challenges of embedding these complex interpretive frameworks into working systems. And then there are ethical concerns.
Like the impact on artists.
Yes, a really critical one: creative sector displacement. The worry that generative AI could harm artists through uncompensated appropriation of their styles and work, leading to economic precarity. The paper strongly emphasizes the need for things like community-controlled governance and transparent data practices to address this.
And the risk of misuse if AI gets really good at interpretation.
That's a huge one. Sophisticated interpretive AI could potentially be used for more effective manipulation, sophisticated disinformation, cultural exploitation, or even invasive monitoring.
Scary thought.
It is, and that's why the paper hammers home this core principle. Interpretive responsibility has to develop right alongside interpretive capability. We need ethical guardrails built in from the start, ensuring these systems actually promote human and cultural flourishing.
It's a tightrope walk. Build the capability, but also build the responsibility.
Exactly. But despite all these challenges, the paper argues there's real momentum already. This isn't starting from zero.
Right, they mentioned the track record.
Yeah, this initiative has already mobilized that large community, 150 plus researchers across 6 continents. It's seen rapid uptake by institutions and secured significant funding, like over £1 million for UK-Canada collaborations focused on these ideas.
So it's more than just a paper. It's intended as a platform.
A collective leadership platform, yes. It's not owned by one university or company. It's an open invitation to everyone, researchers, funders, institutions, industry, to join the community of research partners and actively participate in shaping the future of AI in this different direction.
Okay, so wrapping this up, we've journeyed through why this shift is needed, what doing AI differently actually means with interpretive AI, alternative architectures, human AI ensembles, and how it might be implemented.
The core message really is that bringing the humanities, arts, and social sciences into the very foundation of AI isn't just a nice to have or an ethical layer added on top.
It's presented as a technical necessity, right, for AI to actually reach its potential and genuinely serve human needs and complexities.
Absolutely. And maybe a final thought to leave you with something to chew on.
Yeah.
If we succeed in designing AI systems that don't just mimic human data, but can genuinely engage with the messy, ambiguous, multi-layered nature of human meaning, how might that change our relationship with knowledge itself?
Good question.
What new kinds of collective intelligence, what new cultural insights might emerge when our technology moves beyond just optimizing for efficiency and starts to truly embrace the richness and the plurality of human experience?
That's definitely something to ponder. A different future for AI, and maybe for us too.